guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Send us some positive vibes your way today, guys. Today's going to be a great video, even if you're not there yet in Sand Devil's Necropolis, Stage 24 and Stage 25. I'm going to share a full auto team for each stages. We'll talk about all the champions that we're going to be using, even if you have not been able to get there yet, which is probably the vast majority of you guys. It is worth watching a video like this because you can essentially be on the lookout for some champions that are going to be important to keep if you pull them. Namely, a second copy if you already have one built and booked of Lightsworn and or Skytouched Shaman. We'll talk about that in just a moment here, but in the in the interest of giving credit where credit is due here, this dude here, Vraskal, had the initial concept for the Stage 25 team. I took the Stage 24 team concept from Tyraku YouTube channel, and I took the Stage 25 concept from both Smiley and Murder Inc. I'm going to link you all three of those videos in the description below because they go probably a bit more in-depth than I'm going to in today's video on all of these guides. I got to be honest with you guys, similar to a clan boss team, an unkillable clan boss team, it took me probably 4 hours to get these teams to actually work, so I was doing something wrong. I had the speed tunes a little bit off. I messed up the auto settings. So I'm going to go ahead and share the insights that I kind of gleaned through doing this in trial and error myself as well. So anyway, guys, let me go ahead and just show you the teams quickly and talk about their win rates. That's going to be really important, right? So Stage 24, the team that we're going to highlight here is, well, let me just start with Stage 25 because it's actually the Stage 25 team. So the Stage 25 team, guys, is going to be Nethril, Painkeeper, Double Man-Eater, and a Skytouched Shaman. This is the only team on Stage 25 Unkillable that personally I can get to have a 100% win rate. It takes me anywhere from 9 to 12 minutes with this team, and Nethril is not imperative to this team. I can also use this team with Septimus, okay? So Septimus instead of Nethril. Septimus gets it done in around 6 to 9 minutes. However, it's about a 75% win rate because he only has a single hitter on his A1. Nethril has a triple hitter, which is going to be imperative for these runs to have, 100% success, at least in my experience. It is very early here, guys, only about a week into the new dungeon, especially a disclaimer for those of you who are watching like a year after this video was released. So things very well may have changed. The biggest thing that I want to tell you guys is about Skytouched Shaman and or Lightsworn, right? So you can use either of those champions as your revive on death champion, and then you have to have the 2-man-eaters and the Painkeeper. The nice thing about the 2-manners and the Painkeeper is you can keep them basically at their speeds that are traditional for unkillable clan boss on Demon Lord, Ultra Nightmare, and Nightmare, okay? So let me go ahead and show you all of the speeds on all of these champions, and we'll talk about what is most important on this squad. This is, again, Stage 25 here. So Skytouched Shaman, the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is I had to build a second Skytouched Shaman to make this team work, okay? So again, if you're either not at Stage 25 or you want to try a team like this on an earlier stage or just take advantage of Skytouched Shaman on an unkillable comp, we only need one book. As a matter of fact, we need one book. We need this to be on a 5-turn cooldown, not a 4-turn cooldown, and we can't have it on a 6-turn cooldown. So that's why you have to keep an eye out for an additional Skytouched Shaman, or if you pull her for the first time and you want to use her for Sand Devil on an unkillable team, as of right now, you need it on a 5-turn cooldown. The same thing with Lightsworn, okay? So if she's fully booked, this will not work. The second thing, so a speed, right? 272 on Skytouched Shaman. I'm running her as an Aura Lead. She has a 25% HP in all battles, and we're going to get a lot of HP out of her as well. She's also in an immunity set, so she does not get feared on the first kind of rotation. After that, the block debuffs will block the fear and the decreased speed on Skytouched Shaman. Even if she does get a fear or decreased speed in the middle of the run, it will not matter. She's still going to be successful. Again, I ran this team around 14 times overnight, and it won every single one, okay? So Man-Eater, granted, 14 is not a massive sample size. So Man-Eater, you can put this as a #1 choice if you want to. It's not necessary, though. It will obviously be the #1 choice. The reason Skytouched is so good in this role is because she's also an incredible healer. So as Murder Inc. mentioned in his video, if you get the books going in the heal, even better, right? So again, most importantly, 272 and as much HP as you can get on her, right? Man-Eater. Obviously, accuracy is not important on any of these champions, just saying that to begin with. However, I could build Nethril with some more accuracy so he can land his poisons. Talk about that in a moment. Man-Eater #1. we're going to go ahead and go with the Siphon ability turned off. 270 speed and below. Let me repeat that. 270 speed and below, we're going to go ahead and be opening up with Ancient Blood. If you have him at 271 or 272 speed, it will still work from what I hear. I have not tested it, but you want to go ahead and open with Pummel instead on both of your Man-Eaters. So I repeat that again, 270 or below, you want to go ahead and open with Ancient Blood, which is obviously going to be the case here. Man-Eater number 2 is going to be at 240 speed. So again, 270, that's going to be the second fastest, champion on the team after Skytouched Shaman. These are not easy builds to accomplish, especially in immunity on Skytouch, but it is the most difficult content in the game, stage 25 of the new dungeon. So Man-Eater again, 270 speed. We have the Ancient Blood as the opener. Man-Eater number 2, we're going to shut off the A2 ability. We're going to lead in with Pummel as the opener and 240 speed. On Painkeeper, 241 to 240 to 244 speed is acceptable here. You just have to make sure she's faster than your DPS, okay? My DPS is going to be at 240 to 244 speed as well. But again, we want Painkeeper to be faster than whoever we're using, whether it's Septimus or Nethril. I've also used Brachus the Shifter. However, with Brachus, I have around a 50% win rate with Brachus on the team. So we're looking for additional A1 hits again on a team like this. So Painkeeper, we're going to go ahead and lead in with the A2 ability. Healing is going to be imperative. So Painkeeper is super, super strong. She's going to be healing based on this champion's max HP on the A2, so we want to give her as much HP as possible. Why does healing matter on an unkillable team? Well, we're going to get to that once we get into the run. Nethril, again, we're going to shut off his A2, shut off his A3. All we're trying to get is a triple hits and the poison on the A1. 364 accuracy. We are going to be able to land a few poisons, but it's going to be resisted more often than not anyway, even though we are Spirit Affinity. So again, 240 to 244 speed. So there you go, guys. That's the speed. That's the level 25 team. We can just cancel that. I think I just changed some of the priorities, whatever. All right, now let's look at the stage 24 team here, guys. Now the speeds can be a lot less. Shout out to Tyraku again for this team. He had around a 260 speed. I'm going to flash all the speeds that he used on the screen right now for you guys. So I'm just using, the speeds that I had already in Hydra and still working more often than not, but I must stress this team, unlike the stage 25 team, is not winning at a 100% rate for me, although it is obviously full auto. So I have 308 speed right now on Mother Cybele. She's going to go ahead and lead in with her A2 ability and prioritize her A2 ability. Again, opener and first choice. We have Godseeker or Neri. We're not doing anything on Godseeker in terms of the abilities. She's at 262 speed. We have Elva. This is my first Elva team. She's going to go ahead and be using her A2 with block debuffs and increase speed as a priority, but she's going to be opening with her A1 ability. On Muckstalker, my favorite rare in the game now, man. He's going to be opening with his A1 Pounce, but he's going to be prioritizing his Strangle. That's a 2-turn sleep. I have accuracy at 499. That's a little bit low. Speed at 226. That's also a little bit low, but this team is still working. Geomancer, 481, a little bit low. Again, keep in mind, I think I said Magic Affinity earlier. We're attacking into a Spirit Affinity boss here. So Geo is a weak matchup there, but it's okay, right? Elva, by the way, some people, I saw Tyraku actually turned off his A3, her A3 ability. I like to keep it just in case I need an extra revival, but I don't think I've even had to use it, so I guess I could turn it off if I wanted to. Geomancer, again, not going to be using his A2. He's going to open up with his A1 and prioritize his A3 ability. He's at 246 speed. I didn't even speed tune this team. I'm actually using all these champions at the speeds they were already at. So on both of these teams, our team is going to wipe on the first AoE attack because the Sand Devil is going to use the Feasting Swarm as the first ability. Everybody wipes, and then they get back alive from the Revive on Death, and a 2-turn sleep is going to be on the boss. Hopefully, Geo can land his A3 ability, and he does. The HP burn is landed here, and looking pretty good. Now, the A2, though, is going to cleanse the boss, so that's unfortunate here. Did I mention this earlier? I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but Plarium, there's a lot of thought out there that Plarium is going to go ahead and nerf Geomancer, or I shouldn't say nerf Geomancer. Let me take that back. They're going to change Geomancer so he's not so effective against this boss. This boss was, people think, supposed to be an anti-Geomancer boss. So as of right now, this team works, but in the future, We're not sure. Now, Geomancer is going to die, but that passive of Godseeker Neri is going to go ahead and pick him right back up. It's going to be really, really nice here, and you guys can kind of see how the team works, okay? We land another HP burn there. This is why we have healers on the level 25 team. This A2, Dune Tempest of the Sand Devil, removes all debuffs, then heals him. The amount of heal is proportional to the amount of destroyed at max HP on the enemy team. So we want to mitigate those heals from the Sand Devil, obviously, right? So it's going to be very, very important that we go ahead and we make sure that we're healing in between rounds so we don't have to deal with these massive heals from the Sand Devil. Obviously, on this squad, Godseeker and Neri is our healer. We also have I think I mentioned this earlier, maybe I didn't, but man, oh man, oh man, it's going to be a mandatory, if you have it on any legendary champions, I have it on Mother Cybele, getting Brimstone, because that smite damage is going to carry your team. Nethril is carrying the team, not from his poisons on the stage 25, but from that smite damage. So guys, let me come back to you when this run is over, then we'll jump into a stage 25 run. Actually guys, while this run is finishing up, we have Scott Johnson here on Twitter a few hours ago. What's up, Scott? How you doing, man? Thanks for the kind words, by the way. He says, for players like me that don't have unlimited energy and or time and are looking for the best bang, would you encourage Iron Twins or Sand Devil? Honestly, having a hard time getting into either, but I know I need for progression. Thoughts? I think that, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Everybody's going to have their own opinion here, but if I had to prioritize the two, I would start by focusing more on the actual Sand Devil to get some of my artifacts, some of my best artifacts on my best champions, at least ascended to level 1 to see what stats I could get there. But it's kind of a catch-22 because, again, Brimstone is such an important mastery. So if you're lacking a Spirit Affinity damage dealer like a Septimus or a Nethril in this video, with Brimstone, you might want to go, or even a Husk, you know, a Force Affinity works too on stage 25. You might want to go ahead and focus first on getting that, hopefully, but it could take, what, 100 years, right? So RNG. So I guess now that I say it out loud, I would personally focus on Sand Devil, and, you know, maybe I would go like 70-30. What about you guys? I would go 70-30 on my time / energy on Sand Devil versus the Iron Twins. Maybe just farm Iron Twins on Sunday or something like that. That's probably what I would do. Be right back, guys. All right, guys, there we go. So 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Again, you know, what you see is what you get here. Hey, we landed a few superior oils, not too bad. Stage 24, again, is pretty optimal to farm as well. And being Spirit Affinity, as I mentioned, it's going to be a little bit easier for a lot of you guys. Now we're going to go into the big boy territory here in stage 25. I am going to go ahead and use the Nethril team. You'll see that my Nethril is +4. +4 empowerment, even though, yeah, it's you know, pay to win, endgame, whatever. It's actually not going to matter that much on this particular run. You know, before I show you this run, we're going to end at the end of this run, because it's probably going to take me 10-15 minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and show you all of the artifacts that I have on these champions and the masteries. So let me go ahead and do that really quickly as well for you guys. So recently used first, again, Mother Cybele here. I have her in random gear, life, speed, and perception sets. Total stats here. Again, I have her very, very fast. Not necessarily that she is that fast. Masteries, again, I didn't really change anything here. On Elva, I don't even have masteries on her yet, so can do it without masteries. Again, I just went all speed gear. That's all I really care about, and I have her again at 275 speed. I have kind of meh gear on her because, especially accessories, I mean, I got nothing for Sylvan Watchers right now. So again, no masteries on her. However, I do have her booked, okay? On Godseeker and Neri. So Godseeker, we have, by the way, on anybody who's not legendary, I would go with a Phantom Touch, a Blessing, to get more damage out of them. So Godseeker, again here, I have total stats 262 on the speed. And masteries, I didn't touch any of her masteries. I just kept the build that I had her in already. Same thing with Geomancer. This stage 24 build, honestly, as I said, I didn't really change anything. I have him in Reflex gear, which is exactly how I run him on the Hydra team that I use him on. And again, we went War Master there, and you can see his total stats, 246 and 481. We have Muckstalker. Muckstalker, I have 226. I have 499, as I mentioned. A decent amount of HP and triple perception gear. Masteries on Muckstalker. I have War Master, Life Drinker. You can see the rest. We have Nethril. We have Giant Slayer on Nethril for that A1 ability. It's a triple hitter. And then we have, let's see, total stats here. are going to be 240 speed. That's going to be most important. I could stand to gain a little bit more accuracy to land, as I mentioned, the poisons on the triple hitter on the A1. We're not even using the A2 or the A3, but Brimstone, such an important, ability to have 40% chance of placing Smite. Brimstone is amazing, or Acresia. Either or. I don't have Acresia. Skytouched Shaman, guys, we have her in immunity gear so she can, protect herself from herself, right, on that nasty passive. After that, again, the block debuffs will kick in. We have her, obviously, as an aura lead as well. Masteries on this champion went down in War Master. It's going to be imperative that you guys pick up the healing Masteries on Skytouched Shaman, guys. Very, very important, because we need to recoup some of that so we can mitigate those heals, some of that HP, excuse me, so we can mitigate those heals. On Maneater, I changed out his Masteries to get rid of Retribution on all these champions. Honestly, I don't think it matters at all, so I went War Master on Maneater. Again, this is my slower Maneater at 240 speed. Min-max for a little bit extra damage if you want to, but I don't think it's really necessary. Most of your damage, again, coming from the that one champion that we have in the Nethril spot. 270 on the speed on my fast Maneater. Again, Masteries, you can go ahead and take a look here. Painkeeper is going to be War Master and all the healing Masteries. Very important, again, on Painkeeper. And again, we're prioritizing her speed at 244 and her HP at 81. As high as you can get, guys. Again, recouping is going to make the run a little bit faster. And there it is, guys. I tried with a bunch of other champions. I couldn't get stage 25 to work with Bad Elkazar or Mashald. I did, as I mentioned, get it working on Brachus, and it was much faster with Septimus, but it was not winning 100% of the time. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump in. Stop with the pop-ups, Plarium. This is Raid Shadow Legends after all, huh? All right, Sand Devil's Necropolis, stage 25, guys. Nope, let's not go with the stage 24 team. Let's go with this squad. You'll see, again, it's going to look very similar in the beginning here. It's just going to take a lot longer. So Skytouched Shaman comes down, everybody dies, the sleep goes up, and then we get into the swing of things. As I mentioned, do not panic if you see that fear and the decreased speed on the first couple turns. Everything will be okay. And again, guys, if something is not working for you, maybe you can check out the amazing YouTubers who I mentioned at the top of this video, Smiley, Murder, and Tyraku. All of those videos, again, will be linked, and maybe they covered something that, I missed in this video. However, I do think that I showed you pretty much anything. I think you guys are going to be good to go. So I'm not going to keep you here for another 15 minutes, guys. I will come back at you when the boss is dead, hopefully not in, 20 minutes. So, guys, it's going to be Unkillable, and either that or Revive on Death the rest of the way. I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, so here we go. About 11 minutes in, which is pretty much par for the course for the Nethril team. As I told you guys, man, that little sliver of the Sand Devil is going to take me 20 minutes to go ahead and finish him off here. Come on, Nethril, get the job done, buddy. There we go. There we go. Brimstone has landed. That means it's going to proc, and that means actually Maneater has something to say about that. So there we go, guys. 11 minutes on stage 25. Obviously, Nethril putting out the majority of the damage. I hope you found this video helpful, and as I said in the beginning of the video, even if you can't necessarily build this team, at least you'll know what to be on the lookout for. I would advise you guys just stick with the lower level stages and then just, figure out the RNG, right, of your artifacts, where you're going to get those stats, what artifacts are going to be, your most used now after the changes. And yeah, I guess that's about it, guys. Just wanted to put this out before I fly in the morning. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Send us some positive vibes your way. And as always, take care, guys.